Okay, honestly, this is the last thing I expected to be making a video about, but I don't see anyone else out there talking about it, and it was something that I felt over the weekend. Now, as you may or you probably don't know because nobody watched it, because I didn't even hear about the game until very late in the game. I was doing a Let's Play of the game Doki Literature Club, which is a free game on Steam. You can also get it free off of the developer's website. Very easy to install, but it doesn't even require an installation if you get it off of the developer's website. It just runs. But it's in a genre I don't much care for because there isn't much interaction, and the whole point of the game is to interact. And I pretty much gave up on it, having, despite some people I respected putting it on their top 10 list of 2017, I went in completely blind and I gave up on it. And this discussion will have spoilers. If you haven't done this yet, go play Doki Literature Club. And I will recommend that you install the 1.10 mod to it. Look up Doki Literature Club 1.10 mod. It's very easy to install. I might do a comparative video showing that, but there are other videos on YouTube showing that, because it helps with some of the stuff, but I gave up on it. But then this weekend I decided just to barrel through it just to see if it redeemed itself in any way, to try and figure out what people saw, because I wasn't seeing really any interaction or really anything that was holding my interest. And it turned around and became a very disturbing, on a psychological level, game. In fact, on a psychological level, for me personally, and I'm going to have to talk about something personal in order to explain what I think this game does so right that nobody's talked about, is yes, there's a lot of... Alright, so there. But yeah, this is your last chance to avoid spoilers. Turn off this video. You can beat this whole game multiple times, and you do have to play through it multiple times. That's where I made my mistake. Also, you may want to do a playthrough. Just know that there are free girls and basically but here's your chance to avoid spoilers. So yeah, and basically you have to play through it 3 times to appeal to each of them, and then you have to play through it a 4th time to get the best ending and to see everything. However, that doesn't take very long, because you can skip most of the dialogue after you play through it the first time, and I beat it in 2 afternoons over the weekend. So even with a mod that made me play through it a 4th and 5th time, which was worth it. But anyway, and the mod sort of puts you in a quantum leap thing. It's the closest thing you'll ever get to a quantum leap game, I think, in that one of the characters basically becomes Al, and you basically become Sam. The character can't change everything, but this one character can advise you as you go back with this mod, and you get a chance to stop some horrible things from happening, and you have to guess at what the correct choices were, what to do, and you've got this horrible feeling in the pit of your stomach this whole time. And again, it did put me in the emotional headspace of Sam Beckett from one of my all-time favorite science fiction shows, Quantum Leap, which, by the way, if you haven't seen Quantum Leap, again, what are you doing watching my videos? Go out. You can get the whole series on DVD for around $30, and pretty much every episode is worth watching. And it's not just and it actually has some very deep thoughts on all sorts of hot topic issues that we're still dealing with today, all wrapped up in this package that seems to be fun. And I'm rambling now. See, you saw that. Yeah, see, you didn't pay attention to that warning and shut the video off right when you saw the opening credits. So anyway, Here's the thing Doki Doki Literature Club does better than every other game out there that I've ever seen. It captures manic and suicidal. It captures manic, suicidal depression better than any other game ever made. In fact, better than most other stories because you're immersed in it because you're having to watch it. Now, here's where I have to get a little personal to explain how I know this. I suffer from manic depression. I have 3 medications right here that I have to take daily just to control the symptoms. And sometimes it's quite debilitating. Sometimes I can't get out of bed. Sometimes, I love writing, but I haven't touched my fan fiction on fanfiction.net in almost a year because my depression keeps kicking in, and when it kicks in, I can't write people interacting. And you can't have a story without people interacting. There is one thing this game gets wrong, but it's more of a dramatic conceit that all movies, books, and video games that deal with this subject matter have to make. And it's concession to the fact that unless the viewer, reader, or player is actually in control, is actually viewing the world as the character who's manically, suicidally depressed, they can't know the inner thoughts. So you have to have that person speak their inner thoughts, and that's something that suicidally depressed people just don't do. They feel that it's too much of a burden. Even when pressed, they'll usually insist everything's fine. And again, I know this because I suffer from manic depression, and a few years ago I even had to be locked up. I was in a psychiatric institution for a week because I attempted to hang myself, and I was taken there in handcuffs by the police so I wouldn't harm myself. So I know what I'm talking about here. And I'm surprised this game hasn't gotten more praise for this. I guess because most people who review games haven't experienced this the way I have. So, but with this one character, they nail pretty much every aspect of it, and the fact that as an outsider, there's very little you can do. There isn't much. Even if you make all the right choices, the suicide still happens, even if you do everything. But here's the thing. The more people do for you when you are this depressed, without proper treatment, without proper counseling, without proper medication, most of the time that just makes you feel more guilty. Guilt goes hand in hand with depression. And so the guilt piles on top of the depression, and it just makes you feel worse, and it makes you feel like you're dragging everyone around you down. And I'm not doing this to try to score sympathy points. I'm not doing anything here to say I've had a horrible life. I haven't, and I'm not doing any of that. I'm just trying to let you know that I know what I'm talking about, and this game absolutely nails it. And the fact that it spins out of control just rubs it in and gives you the exact emotional impact that I think this was going for, and it probably makes it the most understanding video game, and maybe even film when it comes to suicidal depression, I've ever come across. It doesn't add in any extra things about some extra bullying pushing this character to it. It doesn't add in anything. There isn't any event in their life. There's no sign that they're being abused. Okay, this seems to be in a Charlie Brown world where parents don't seem to exist or anything, but that's not seen as being a reason for it. It's just it just happens. And yeah, I'm aware that there are external forces that they claim are making this happen, but the first time I played through it, before you get to that point, before that's revealed, I totally believed it, and it was totally within the realm of possibility. And here's the thing. You can give somebody the best news that they've ever had in their life, and just like they show in this game, later that day or the next day, they can just feel like, because it drains all the energy out of your life, you literally can't think of a way to go on. Even when even the best news of your life, even something you've been looking forward to for a long time, can just lose all meaning as if if you suddenly wake up one day and your life seems completely purposeless. You can't bring yourself to go on, and you just want this incredible amount of pain, and it's an amount of pain. I mean, I've been in pain. I mean, I had gallstones. I've had an appendix out. I've been in so much pain that I couldn't move before, but this is a different kind of, and this is the exact same thing where you feel so much pain you can't even move, and you'll do anything to get away from it, and it doesn't have to be caused by anything. Everyone around you can be great. They can be perfect. They can be telling you all the time that they don't want you doing it, and it can still not make a difference. My point is that this game actually raises awareness, and I wish the developers would do some sort of follow-up or something, or talk about this to make it to I think this game could be very good at raise. I think with some modifications this game could be used very well as a tool. I think that I wouldn't mind if they did a new modified version or update of this game, or a different version of this game where they get you into it with all this silly gameplay stuff and all this meta stuff, and then they actually tackle what you can do. And here's what you can do. First of all, the mod that lets you stop this, it doesn't really handle it that right. It oversteps the bounds in that you're grabbing this character to stop it, and all this other stuff, and forcing them to do stuff. No, you can't do that. That's overstepping. That will get you into legal trouble. However, again, I'll make an excuse for this game in that parents and the police don't seem to and proper psychiatric facilities don't seem to exist. So I would love it if this team sort of took the bare bones of this game and sort of used it to if they made a follow-up, I would pay for it, or I would back a Kickstarter for it, where those things did exist, and you could do what happened to me, where I was forced by my family to get proper psychiatric treatment, and they had to remove anything I could harm myself with for a while. I mean, imagine a game like this, but where, that's only the first half. Just stopping the suicide is only the first half, and then it helps educate people on what they realistically can do to help somebody that they love get over suicide. And the things you can do is, if you have to, inform the parents. Here's my definition. They'll see it as a betrayal at first, but here's my definition of a good friend is somebody who will not be afraid to lose you as a friend by kicking your ass if they think that it's the only way to get you to do what's best for yourself and help yourself. And then have a game where you have to watch this person, and you have to make sure that they're taking their meds until they get to a point where they're going on. And as I said, and show that it doesn't go away overnight. Show that you can still run into things, and it can be nothing. It can be a little thing. It can be a little thing like you having to change your plans for today can suddenly just throw you into a spiral where you think you're not good at anything anymore. Failing at one mediocre task can do that. Have something that addresses that. I would love it if they followed up, but as it stands, it is still the best game for addressing this, and it addresses an issue that in a realistic way that I don't think I've ever seen addressed in a realistic way ever before. And by the way, it does earn its rating, because after I played through the first ending, I did feel completely. It did hurt my depression. That warning that they have at the beginning of the game that I laughed at in my Let's Play about how the easily disturbed should not play this game. No, that is deadly serious, and if I wasn't on my meds, I could see this throwing it. Yes, it's fictional characters, and yes, some could argue that we shouldn't have this connection, but also, if you don't have connections with characters, you wouldn't be playing a game. In my mind, you wouldn't be playing a game or participating in any way in any sort of fictionalized storytelling. And yeah, I didn't care for the characters up until this point in the game, but they just did such a good job of making these symptoms real, and you see these symptoms throughout it, and it's like, again, manic depression, the person can be jumping off a wall and seem like the happiest person around. That's how it was with me. I can seem like the happiest person around, but I can really be hurting deep down inside. And it's like, and I was in a wing with a bunch of other people who had attempted suicide, and we all basically had this exact same story and these exact same symptoms. So yeah, this game is maybe the best game of 2017, but in my mind, it's not because of all the meta aspects and how creepy it is. Although I will say that to my mind, it is the most psychologically disturbing game of all time that I've ever played. Anyway, I haven't played every horror game out there, so there could be others that are. But on a psychological level, it is very disturbing. But also, it addresses an issue that games avoid, and it just goes for the jugular with it, and it's obviously written by either somebody who's been depressed or somebody who did their research and talked to people, because they get it so right. And the team that made this game, Team Salvento, or I forget their name right now, but anyway, they deserve huge amounts of praise for handling this very, very tricky topic that most movies, TV shows, and even novels I read get wrong in some way. Usually they make this sort of thing the result of bullying or something else like that. I think Netflix had a series where they made it all the result of where they made a suicide all the result of bullying, and that's rarely what leads to it. I didn't find one person when I was in the ward that had done it, that said that they were doing it because people were being mean to them in real life. A lot of times you don't know why you're doing it, because it's, in the end, your brain playing tricks on you because of most of the time because of a chemical imbalance and maybe one thing going wrong. So yeah, this game deserves all the praise, and it is and if you are over 18 and if you can psychologically handle it, and if it starts to get too much, don't be afraid to back out. But one of the things I will say is that one of the things that helped me get over it was this mod that lets you save everyone, because it lets you get over that hump of it being a depressing ending, and helps you feel like a hero again, and that always perks my spirits up. That's one of the reasons why I love the Mass Effect series. Is that now that won't be true of everyone, I know, but if you find yourself if you think you're going to be depressed by the ending but you still want to play it, then get this mod. It's very easy to install, and just put it on there, and you'll see and you'll have a better experience. But yeah, so yeah, I don't think I'll do the Let's Play because there are so many more Let's Plays out there of this game, I found out, and it would mean completely replaying the game all over again, and doing all of it. But anyway, I just want to say, yes, this game handles this one subject matter, the subject matter of suicidal depression, so incredibly well, and I look forward to seeing what these writers do next, because if they can make more games with this psychological depth, I will buy them with this understanding of how the psychology of human beings work, and playing on that, and that's as clever as this, I will gladly pay full price for it on release day. So yeah, in my mind, it's the best game I played in 2000. This little silly free game that I wasn't really enjoying for the first hour or so becomes the best game of 2017 because of this. So yeah, just be aware and try to enjoy it. Bye.